Vanessa, I love the dedication that this woman is given towards Asta. She will do everything in her power to bring back those arms as him. Now, there is some actual very interesting stuff about this chapter that a lot of people were very confused about, and hopefully the fact that I can actually bring this down and it can immediately be start with pretty much the first couple of pages of this chapter. So pretty much like what we got to see immediately is Scylla goes into a house like trying to ask some help from a bunch of people, and I believe their name was Fanzel, Domina, and Marietta, which, by the way, for people who don't know, we shouldn't know about these characters are the main reason of this, and it's very easily explained. The thing is, the fact that we actually don't know these characters is because they are actually from the light novel. During the last volume of Black Clover, there was a light novel story that came out alongside, like, with one of the latest volumes of it came out with this light novel series. And what was the interesting thing is that apparently, from what we understand from this thing, is that these are like refugees from, like, they fled from the Diamond Kingdom and they were saved by Asta alongside with the Black Bulls, and pretty much they became friends from there, and they're wondering if all they can get is any information or help from them. So I was actually kind of surprised. I was like, oh, when I first saw this, I was like, okay, who are these new characters? Like, who are they generally? So I generally like that, and the case is that if this is ever going to be adapted into any source material, then that's just straight up they're going to do the light novel there. That's going to be technically kind of filler as it isn't in the main manga, but then again, I mean, the manga's considering it canon, so that's a cool thing. I will say for the fact that generally, like, for the manga that's coming out over here for us, we won't know who the hell this guy is unless they ever publish like this light novel, and the fact that we haven't got this light novel translated, we have no idea when the hell we're even going to get it, or whether the fact that it's either going to be officially licensed. So this could be something that could be actually waited until like fan translation. Like, I generally like the designs of these characters. Like, some cool ass, like, he looks like some cool ass, like, scruffy ass dude, and I kind of like Marielle. I think she's a kind of cool character, and what's this one, like, they all just seem like kind of they're interesting characters, and I would like to know about Marielle, Domina, and all them. Like, I generally think, and it's just like when they were asking, it was like, please, it was like, you know, like, I don't care if it's a rumor or anything and all that, just like tell me if you can cure Asta's arm with this curse. And he's like, I know some shit and all that, and it said like, you know, anyone on Earth who can use such powerful magic anymore and all that, but he's like, I ain't got nothing on this and all that. And the thing that was like very interesting about it is what exactly one of the characters said, and the fact is her hometown, which is the Witch's Forest, which the Queen might be able to know something about, and she's pretty much saying it lies between the kingdoms of Clover and Diamond, and it's the neutral zone, and they're all women who can use special magic like curses and have familiars. And that's the thing, is that witches can only live in that forest though. In other words, Vanessa and her who live outside of there are fugitives, and to go back takes a lot of courage and reserves and all that. So that was the kind of weird thing and all that, where I just like, I love the moment and all that, and it's just like, where she just go and, oh, by the way though, I'm in love head over heels here with Fanzel here, so I'm just fine, I'm like completely happy and all that. And it's just like, that's so sick. So that's actually a thing where it's already been something explained, yeah, like, you know, like over there, like where they kind of know already that Vanessa is a witch and that she comes from there, from what it sounds like. And the fact is that when they met in this like light novel, they're like, oh, I know you from like I know you from the witch's place, yo, how's it going, man? Like, so that's actually a very interesting part, and I genuinely hope that if this, you know, after this like Jump Festa that we're getting, if we get an actual anime series, that this is going to be some material there. And I think this is going to be cool, because I would like to see this anime, and I hope that it's something really interesting, because it sounds like it's actually adding a little bit to Vanessa and a lot of these characters as well. So I really hope that's the case, and even as the fact that we get more of this stuff. I think a lot of mangakas don't do that many two options, although it sounds like if they're going to be that important where it's like, oh my god, are they going to be huge parts of the story? I don't honestly think so, but I like the fact that this chick is actually a part of like the characters. She's actually a witch as well, and that was just like a very interesting part. But they're like, you know, well, the most important person there is the queen and all that, and she's like, you gotta be careful with her. And sounds like she was pretty much using, like, from what it sounds like, she was using like Vanessa, and apparently Vanessa was this prodigy, and it's like, oh, you let throw a fucking man out of everything, you're incomplete incomplete and all that. It's like, you were the prodigy, you was the chosen one of my perfect land, and you just fallen short because you fell for that man and all that with his glib term. Like, I can't believe you did this and all that. A perfect witch like you. Don't you feel ashamed? And it's just, she's like, I don't care and all that. And it's just like, you're the one that's incomplete here. And it's like, there's only one thing I'm here for, bitch. And I want you to teach me how to dispel ancient curses. That's the only thing I'm here for. Do whatever you want afterwards. That's all I care about. I kind of like, though, that all these guys, like Domino, like Thazel, like, and all of them just came out to Asta. And he's like, meanwhile, he's there, like, pumping himself up. It's like, oh, screw it. I hang up my arms, but I'll just work on my legs. And if they're tip-top. And they just both all, like, jump out, like, and they're coming, their witches and like that. It's like, yo, what's up, man? Like, how's it going? How's everything going up on here? And it's just like, oh, by the way, Asta, come with us and all that. So Asta sounds like he's going to be taken to this to actually heal them. So I'm wondering if, like, if we're going to have these guys technically going to be the backup for this arc. So instead of having Magna and all them, it sounds like the main characters we're going to be having in this arc is like, we're going to be having Finral, we're going to be having Silver, Asta, Vanessa, and alongside with these new characters that we're going to be having, like, you know, with Thazel, like, you know, like Domino, like, you know, all these characters. I'm kind of wondering, like, you know, about that. It's like, you know, like with them, Marielle and Domino, like, that's an interesting, like, ragtag group that we kind of got, and hopefully they're going to be actually interesting characters, so I'm looking forward to that. But we can end with a little bit of news about the Jump Festa. There was actually some actual designs that they showed around about the end of the chapter, and they were showing anime designs for Mars, although not colored in. This is pretty much talking about the Jump Festa stuff, alongside with the guy from the first chapter, like some weird, like the demon thing from like the first chapter as well. They're definitely planning on showing a couple of stuff and all that, and the Jump Fest is going to pretty much get up to there, to like the first 3 volumes or so. They're just, honestly, they're just going to like show a little bit of material, see if they're interested in it, and see where it's going to be going from there. So hopefully that's going to be some interesting stuff. I'm curious to see what they're going to be doing with Mars, but I generally don't think it's going to be a main focus on this, since they're going to be covering a lot of material for there, and I think they're just going to show the best off moments. Funny enough, we haven't seen any of the balls though. They're not showing any of the black balls, like, kind of like, if they're going to be in there. And I'm kind of serious, it's like, if these voice actors are going to stay the same for the main anime. Like, I'm very curious about that. Like, this is the most I've been excited for a Jump Festa special coming out in general. But I'm curious to see what you guys think in the comments down below. What did you actually generally think about Black Clover? What it's doing with the light novel? That the light novel is actually canon to the story, and the fact that we're actually having these like 3 new characters, and that they sound like they're going to be integrated into like this, like Thansel, like Domina, and like Marielle. Like, what do you think about that? Because that's such an interesting thing, and you don't really see too much of the series do that for the most part. Like, Naruto has add some in as like filler episodes with like all that like Gaiden like stuff they had in there, and like all the like light novels and all that stuff, which is pretty goddamn cool. But no, it's actually weird that like the manga is just straight like confirmed it, and it's like never really, you don't have that where like the light novel becomes a part of the manga's canon. So that's actually something that's very interesting, and I hope that we either get this like light novel translated or officially published. I would love to own it, and we're just going to have to wait and see. But that's all for me, so thank you much for watching as always, and I will see you guys, though, next time.